Yeah, I just want to welcome everyone. I'm just going to give one few seconds to kind of come into our live stream. And I want to give a greeting to everyone who's watching in Sverigekanalen. Hvis du ser på Sverigekanalen, dette blir litt blanding i språket. Og det er på grunn av jeg ville bare sende en hilse til alle de som feirer jul i dag. If you are watching in Sverigekanalen, it's our Swedish channel, I want to send a greeting to all the ones who celebrate Christmas today in the Middle East. And everyone is from an Orthodox background or evangelical Orthodox, like evangelical Coptic, living in the Middle East or in America or in Europe. Today is a Christmas Day, so I just wanted to send a short and simple greeting. And as you know, it's today is the 7th of January, and we celebrate Jesus came to earth. And most of people do it in the 24th, 25th of January, December, but now we do it in the 6th and 7th of January. And all of people like me who grew up in the Middle East and end up in the West, you get confused. Are you going to celebrate it 2 times, or you're going to celebrate it once? But we end up just celebrating it 2 times. It's no harm to celebrate the birth of Jesus twice. Once with everyone where you live at, and once with all the friends that they're living in abroad, and you just celebrate with them. What is important about that is always thinking that Jesus came to earth to give us hope and to give us love, to give us eternity. And this is just like the whole picture of Jesus coming to earth is just representing the giving, the loving, and the forgiveness power, and the sacrifice. He came to earth so we can have life. And I want to encourage you to kind of look at that day into a positive way, that let's just celebrate 2025 and in a positive way. Let's hope that God will do great things in our lives, personally, in our ministry, in our work, and with our families. You don't have control about what's going to happen, but what you have is your attitude, your reaction to what's going on. And if it's going to be a tough time, how can you don't give up, but you just go to God for strength, go for the close ones to give you strength, and how to find, even in the toughest time, to find hope and to find faith that can take you through this. We in Scandinavia, it's Christmas is very big in Scandinavia. Lots of gifts, lots of food, and lots of celebration. Either you're a believer or not, this is a time to reflect with family. This is a time to be generous. This is a time to have a good time with your family and friends, and have the goodness of people coming in this season. And I think it's a very good time to when we are in this season, to wish each other the best, and to believe that God will be with us and He will give us the best He has for us. That is basically my greeting for you today. What is happening in 2025? I have no idea. You don't know what can happen in 2025, but I know that you just take care of the day, take care of today, and make today count the most, and let God be in control of today. And then if you do that every day, then the next week will be in His hand, because you trust Him with everything you have. Yes, so this is gonna be a short greeting. I'm really grateful when I look into my life and what God has been with me in 2024. Even it was a very tough year, one of the toughest years in my life, but I still see God's hand in it. And this is kind of, sometimes it's very puzzling, because we expect if God's hand in it, everything's going to be roses and nice and beautiful. But it's many times we get more depth in our lives when we go through some tough times. Tough times are not punishment. Tough times are not judgmental, but we all go through tough times. Even if you're young, and if you're old, we all go through some hardships. Either it's going to be sickness, it's going to be like relationals, or it's going to be career. It's going to you can't go through all life without being tested, or without going through tough. This is the nature of life. But how can you deal with it? And I see, when I reflect on 2024, I see that I just have to trust God with everything, in the good things and the tough things and the hard things, and say, God, you are with me in this. You are not going to give up on me, and I'm not going to give up on you. I don't understand, and maybe sometimes I don't agree, but I have to trust you. So what is going to take me into 2025 is going to have the same attitude. It's like I don't know what's going to happen in 2025, but I choose to trust you, financially, relationally, professionally, spiritually. I have to trust you, and I have to trust that you have a plan for me, and I have to be faithful to the things that I have in my hand, to the day that I have in my hand, the 24 hours I have in my hand, to the hour that I have in my hand. I can't control a week from now. This is just, many times we worry so much about what's going to happen in a week or 2 weeks or 1 month, and it's hard, because we want to have a control. We want to see what's going on. We want to have control of the circumstances, over the people around us. But basically, you can't. The only thing that you have in your hands now is what you have now, and the hour that I have, and the day that I have. And I'm learning this more than ever, that, Lord, I want to do the best I can in the hour that I have, the best I can in the day that I have. And I want to trust you with the future. And it's easy to say, but it's very hard to live. Because it's like, we want to have control over things. It's just our nature. But it's, on the other hand, you learn to trust in him in good days and in bad days. And when I reflect, I'm going back and forth today. I'm going to make it short. I promise make it short. So I hope it's not going to be very long. But when I reflect on 2024, change career, having tragedy in a family, and many things happen, but in the midst of this, I see God's goodness, I see God's kindness, and I see God's faithfulness, and I see God's love, and I see God's hope, and I see that he is with me. I know it's very cliche to say about this, wow, God, where have you been? And you see this, that one is walking, and it's like, oh, I hear only my footsteps, and where did you leave me? And then by the end, he said, oh, I hold you, so you see only my footsteps, not your footsteps. Kind of, we hear the story many times, but it is real, because God is not the God of only joy. God is not the God of only nice worship music, or nice a victory time. Our God is a God of suffering. The God, Jesus, it says he learned by obedience, and through his suffering he reached his goal. So suffering is part of the journey. And if you think you can go through Christian life without go through suffering, then you are setting yourself to a big trap, and this trap will really crash you by the end, because suffering is part of our lives. It could be emotional suffering, could be relational suffering, could be physical suffering. It's part of it. And for us, the ones, because we are in 7th of January in the Middle East, we grew up into like suffering is part of the package. For you just to be a Christian in a Muslim country like Egypt, it's just part of it that you face persecution. You don't see this as it's part of daily life, and you accept it and you grow into it. And whoever wants to follow Christ will be persecuted. That's part of it. But you have to suffer for the right reason. I'm not saying that you suffer because you're stupid, you do some stupid things and then you get some consequences. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you can do the best you can. You are doing the best you can, but then still some things happen in your life, and then you wonder why. And this question stops many people sometimes of, why? Because it's part of life. Because you have to accept it's a part of life. 2025 can bring some suffering in your life, and will bring some joys in your life, and will bring some hopes in your life, and will bring some pain in your life. It's a mix. Our human life is a mix. What is the difference? The difference, whenever the suffering comes, you freak out and you try to run away, or you freak out and reject it, and you freak out and you be upset. If the suffering come to me and it's like, no, I can't. I have to have joy, 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 joy. I have to have peace, 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 peace. Or I have to have victory, victory, victory. When the suffering comes and I don't react to it in a wise way, then it could be a problem. But the challenge is like, get 2025, whatever you're going through, take it with him in your private chamber. If you have a problem with your kids, if you suffer with sickness, if you have a problem psychologically, try, I'm including this in me and you, is like, try to involve God in this and talk to him. We use many times most of our energy to complain. Think that's just our nature, that we complain and complain. Think if we convert the complaining into prayers. And so you can continue complaining, but instead of having it an attitude of complaining, take it an attitude of praying, an attitude of seeking God, an attitude of, I don't know what's going on, but I want to trust you. I have this problem, this financial problem, but I want to trust you. I don't know, I don't have control over my job, but I have to trust you. And instead of like, why did you allow this happen to my job? Why did you allow this happen to my finances? Why did you allow this to happen to my relationships? Instead of just complaining and convert it into prayers and trusting and make it as, okay, this is maybe a time that I will really have to trust you, even if I don't feel at all that I want to trust. This attitude will bear, that's in the Norwegian word, like it will hold you into 2025. If the waves comes, if the tough time, it's not it's when the waves comes, when the tough time comes, you are there with me and you will be with me. I wish from all my heart for you a Happy New Year. And if you are from the Middle East and celebrate it today, Merry Christmas. And if you are not from the Middle East and you listen to me, Merry Christmas again. And we pray for the Middle East that this time will be a time of celebration. And even if in the tough times they experience God's protection and God's love and God's faithfulness. Yes, I just want to thank all of you for the one who have been praying for me and the one who have been standing with me. Visst det I Norge eller I Sverige or in English speaking part أو حتى الناس اللي بيفهموا عربي وبيتابعوا معايا بالعربي. I wish all of you a Merry Christmas and may God protect us and give us a year full of his visions and his dreams to our own lives. God has dreams for us and we trust that he will lead us into this. Merry Christmas.